If you are a young man and you say you want to be like in Japan, you have to sacrifice a lot of things. Postpone your spending today for tomorrow. In 1990, I had 11 houses, but I had to sell 6 of them to start life again. And that time, anybody selling his property means he's broke. The experience you acquire in business, the hardships you go through, the challenges you face, you don't find it in the books in the classroom. It's a secret. Bad boy. You should always make sure that your misfortunes, you turn it into blessing. If you want to succeed, don't be a myopic thinker. If you want to succeed in life, you have to dream big, talk big, do things big, and challenge yourself. I said I want to be president of this country, and I'll definitely be president of this country.
Don't start your thing. Don't start it. And then finish and think you can control narrative. We are being very decent. Don't try it.
Minority leader,
don't start it,
you
Chairman.
You did not move a motion before the committee.
Chairman,
raise a preliminary
you can't
objection.
Rule. It's not a ruling.
And the preliminary objection is supposed to be ruled upon by the rules of the House.
No, which rule? Quote it. Quote which rule? Quote the rule. Quote it. If the sign order is here.
Yeah, so
mine is here.
Take your
majority leader, take your time.
No, take your
majority leader, he's capable.
No, take your,
he doesn't need a lawyer.
Please.
Let him. This is it. Rule it. Open.
Take your
open.
final orders.
You people are taking this majority thing too far.
Open to 268.
You guys are taking this majority thing too far. No, we've not finished the argument. He cannot. Stop it.
Patrick.
You've had power. One day you may not have the power.
268.
Don't do this.
No, 268.
It's not fair.
Open it. 268.
Majority leader.
No, open.
Stay out of this matter. Stay out of this matter. Which ruling?
Open to 268.
It is not within his right to rule anything here.
Please.
What is he going to rule?
Open to 268.
I moved. You didn't see. Yes. A motion. No. A motion was moved registering our preliminary objection. A motion was moved. We had a meeting with the clerk and him in his office. You were there. We all agreed that the nominee for the Supreme Court should be done in October. Clerk, he was there. We all agreed that let's do the nominees. So what changed? What changed? Why are you always frustrating everybody? Why are you taking the majority too far? And when we talk, we become victims. Why?
Please.
Why?
Please.
He can't rule.
Please. Okay.
We have to argue. It's a motion that we raised and stated our grounds.
Listen to others.
The preliminary objection was grounded on our motion. Don't do it.
You listen.
He did.
You listen.
You were my mate.
You listen.
You were my mate. I was called before you. I was called before you. You were my steady mate. And you know my law is on soil. So stop what you are doing.
It's very clear. Have you seen the order?
You know my law is on soil. You know, Eche. You know. Don't let politics, make you behave this way. I've raised. He cannot rule. He can't rule. Rule on what? It's a motion. He should tell me where he can rule. We have to take a decision and vote.
That person, please.
It's not fair. We have a right of reply. Let us reply. He shouldn't rush. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we doing this to ourselves? It's not fair. Your own position in 2024, Ayelga, you were there. You said 14 days. Why 3 days? Why? And when we react, you start shouting and threatening us. And you start to threaten us. What's going on in this country? What is going on in this country? Under a reset. What's going on in this country? In today Ghana, you can't talk. You can't talk. They will threaten you, frustrate you. That's what you are doing. That is what you are doing. Maintain your own principle. Maintain your own principle. You act out of political convenience. Where is your principle? Ahy3hu is here. He said 14 days on the 30th of July, 2024. What has changed? Honorable Ahy3hu.
Let me explain what has changed.
All right. Etiefo, mamema wajo emo apaba enfamra Greaterone studios. Wadaroma wabaso na wa like na wa share enso ede ama afofro. Tell your friends say Greaterone studios ya tanse Ghana and some politics na so tini nyina aha ana wo beje no. Mame nka nkyira o ene eye boja ye. Thank God it's Friday. Ye da twedi ampo Nyankopon ase se wabo ye ho ban ama na wotwen kakra abeduru efiada na ye kwakwaje ya home na mind yasa aba abiem ene eye eda efiada sade me ka kire wo no eye osana aboso me da a etoso aduenu enwotwe 28 aduenu enwotwe ewo afi empemienu ene aduenu ensiani mu ene enedai Jumadie midin de nana kedua me na midi ho chiame eye 7 nana yawo ana afi champion jezi won adawroma ene Friday ya je bre na ye de boja ye jumadie no e de ema wo nana ensam a etodwa ewo ye man Ghana ha sei no ane odin ye pa so hwana be ka ye na na ye se ye ka ensam no na wasoso utimi ho de ekoso ewo ye man Ghana ha sei na ye hya sei ene ensam no ye kwa ne quick and ten na ye de ama na bibia so atimi aye fine ewo ha sei ye monwura ye nsam ni mu na ye nkɔ ye ni mu ewo ha sei me no kasa sisi ai Dr. Ahy3hu Baumia ade press dwumadie bi ahyehye so sisi a dwumadie a ode ahyehye so no enye yize kura poto kasam no wose de ai wose Dr. Ahy3hu Baumia mekire MPP candidate 2028 wase de explain why he championed wase de Dr. Ahy3hu okay Dr. Ahy3hu Baumia ni swade huna ohuni se aboa ama NDC for de ju omo samba ewo kromo ase no me no kasa sisi ai on small scale miners no ahia dwumadie bi ekoso sisi ai me no kasa ai opani ba ko sa ekira bi wo honmo ana se Dr. Ahy3hu Baumia ebo ni din say 2028 wo me ye running mate emfamana na woni ni mienu enkopre to me emfamwa Ghana fo a won twetwe ne to ase kura opani ben enkrofo bebre aba o mu anu say ede na esi ewo ye man Ghana opani wonya kasa asem Asem Kɛseɛ yenko yenime me no kasa sisi endra emrahye bedwafie na enye yize ekura wo mrahye bedwafie to the sense say empanifo mienu bia eye Ghana mempani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ebo omudin ese eye mrahye bedwafie empanifo mo nkom mrahye bedwafie nkototo wo ano no me no kasa sisi asem na ye critical enye yize edom kuma me no kasa yi at the press conference enche ahyehye so a enye yize na enrada parliament entokwa so de ema dom kuma ne soli efru eye efie ho se wo montoto ano wo ho no ni nyina ne se eye Supreme Court empanifo miensa bia His Excellency John Dramani Mahama bo omudin ese wo monkototo wo ano no edom kuma ne se ne nya nuru ho no ye ma omo na watwe mienu bi stand to be collected say omonko na omonkwadwe omo ahome ni ade na eduru ho no a wo mo aba na wo mo abetoto sankrofo na no omuru achimba ho no mo toto eye Zinato Lawrence ano ene afei edom Kɛseɛ wo mrahye bedwamu no Mahama Ahy3hu wono na edom Kɛseɛ na wo mrahye bedwafie no wono ana na edi animu eso me no kasa yi ya appoint ne say wonya Minister for Local Governance eye chieftaincy eye religious affairs wono emergentini etoto na no saa so ana Dr. Zinato eye Agyemang Lawrence wono no eba be Minister for Environment, Science and Technology na ye toto say empanifo wei ano na enya nuru eye Supreme Court eye judges mako eye miensa eye His Excellency John Dramani Mahama abo omudin se omonko no omu ya ne se omu no omu etwe omu twe yam so se dabi omu ye Zinato ene eye Mahama Ahy3hu eye former eye majority leader omu wi omu se pe omu sade eye Supreme Court ajadia His Excellency John Dramani Mahama no esa beto aso anu am se henefa enya dwuma nye se enya me ne o kasai ekodane ma abo ewo mrahye be enye yize kura afanyoma kene eye committee no de boani a na eswani enye yize kura me ne o kasai omo akwakoye press conference wo ho a enye yize kura ewo ho no me ne o kasa sisi ai oba MPP amanyokuo ni mu a ensem a etodwa ene se eye UG Boachi entry April esa obeye general secretary diama MPP amanyoko nyankopon ya adom a ehine meboso me dai toso me ensase de bia mbeka kire no MPP fo nyina beba be pie mu wa sentiment mu akwakoyi mpanifo eno ana eye UG Boachi entry a o presa obeye eye general secretary diama MPP amanyoko no me ne okasai okoko pie mu ede ne forms ene ne bibia okofare ne forms ewo MPP headquarters eno ana odi etudwa se eye MPP mu no wono atimi abone ho modern ama 276 constituencies ya ewo ye man Ghana hanumu enyina no watimi achini mu ni MPP fo ma nyina no akodi enkomo na no achi no wode ensem bi etudwa enye yize kra me no kasa sisi ai eye ebobosome ene da etoso eye aduenu mienu yes 22 ebobosome da etoso aduenu mienu no Chairman Wontumi esa ebeko wokọ court no ensem bebre Asem Bank sika eye 30 million Ghana cedis no se sika ne ho no eye ebobosome da a etoso aduenu mienu no nso no ensem no ebekọ akopie mu na de esusu ade bode ho no befa ne nso no ede afa etiefo me no kasa sisi ade enye yize kra ukopie mu wa MPP amanyoko ni mu a eye Boachi agya akom ene John Boadu ede abani a enye ntokwa ni nyina ne se John Boadu se wonte ase se Boachi agya akom akwa kansem bia ensem na okekan no enya nukura bia ni wewom dabi wono wontena ho ema Boachi agya akom emeke kansem bia mfa nto ne so nti enukura bia nim ensem ni nyina ne se twen me de brew ewo ase ensem koso enye yize kura ejefo yenko yanimu ni yenni enkomo wo hai na nakwa kubonsam wunim na nakwa kubonsam ken what you better just see a rank a crown the first. Now Ghana politics muno was wo here protocol bia. Now omo dey ato one central for din komo. Na sama kwakubo nsam aka no. Na kwakubo nsam sese wo kom ana wo here politics. Na nsam bia waka e dey afa MPP wono. MPP for wasem o etiefo enafia dai se wa adwane ya wa ye ho yie papa. Ensankyere ne esisi e wo ye kurom ase no. Ano den papa lawyer me no kasa sisi ai ukopiem ewo mrahye bedwafie a edom kuma ewo mrahye bedwafie no me no kasa ide eye mra bia His Excellency John Dramani Mahama akuafo emra bia wahye kokofo emra bia His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ahye no ukom mrahye bedwafie a opani baako a wo ho no mo se won tiasie say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ede mra ba na nsenya na mra no wasa hye mra no won tiasie say wahye mra bi say uye kuani na wa ukoko a wankasa wadɔ no se wan kwaje permit free Ghana mpanifo ho na wo de wo pɛ say wa ukoko no wo de sikan agent jam ho say nkrampan ne ade utwa afiri mu a danta wasene ma ni nyina ne say ye bɛkye wo to the sense ya nche wo kura ne ya register wo ye kokoko kuani ne ya register wo kokoko no na wo ye wa adwen say ye register ne ade a obi anu wo beto kokoko no edom kuma wo mrahye bedwafie empanifo a edada committee na no e di twodwa say ye no ane say ana amen na amanyosema kwa koduru say ite wo ton kokoko nese ye register ukoko no ewo Ghana mramu ni ade a obi anu wo beto ukoko no eni ade etefo we area awrahosem a eye offenso mrahye bedwa ni anase opani a wo mrahye bedwafie edema wo manfo a wo mo eye offenso south eno ne ye Dr. Isaac Opoku wono ana ukọ mrahye bedwafie a food and agric committee no eye mrahye bedwafie dom kuma na fa no wono ana eda ano a wokasa enso edema na enye yize kura ensem wei ene afufuro pi ene eka ho ene ne Friday ene fiadai boja ye yede ebro na ensem no ano ohye mintibe mo bon ensem ni nyina so to the sense ensem bia ekoso me de mani ehunu no atiefo ano de me no kasai Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia any small scale miners no ehia sisi a ensem bi kwaso Canada kompra kwa Japan Kennedy akompra kwa Japan ebe ka se obedi president na kwan a obefa so obedi president no ono nkoa nanim wase president na wono ni bedi no ono nkoa nanim na me no kasa yi asem bia ba betodwa Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh Kennedy akompra kwa Japan ana afei Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh ana afei afidase asukole mrashe bedwani ayu afiriye ana afei eye wakankwe eye central eye mrashe bedwani me no kasa ba kwa babontene aba abeji atum se Dr. Laji Mamudu Bawumia eboni din se omeye running mate enfamana one twenten na asekura wodirimika ebekọ akoji se tumi no na enye yize me no kasa sisi ayi ukopiem ewo okankwa abrantie baako pani baako a wo ho edema wo mu ewo mrahye bedwafie eye Patrick Yabuama wono enedi tudwa se his excellency John Dramani Mahama wanya ade to the sense ukwo eye South Africa eye ahuhurusam enka chese kanka bisam ne niam ekosisi wo ne ene ntokwama bi famu ehwere wo monkwane ade no ya ade ya wra wosem me no kasai MTN fo wo eye Ghana ha sei no bobwa sika no eye 20 million Ghana cedis sa wobode ba beboa na omode aso Ghana fo asene ewo omu hia omu akwamfrem wo omu kofa omode womba ye omu nya adwuma nya ne ade ewo Ghana ha sei no omode sesika no ebeso omu asene se de be ya omu so be hu ba bia omode omu abrabo ne befa me no kasai Excellency John Dramani Mahama ban no abosika no atoago me no kasai eye doctor anase Patrick Yabuama eye Okankwe Central mrahye bedwani edi tudwa se omu anya ade sesika no omu botugu yese omu nyi sesika no anya bianko omu gi sesika na betimi de aboa womo atorentam to womo ewo South Africa omo ababepiam ewo yeman Ghana atiefo wenim ne ensmp ne ka ho ane ene anumrei yede ebro ewo Greaterone studios wabaso a na wa subscribe na wa like na wa share enso ede ama afofro tell your friend say Greaterone studios atase Ghana politics ni nyina no na so ti ni nyina aha ana yede mawo sa ayese ukodi aduane ne wo baabi a ayete se obi a wo penchene na wadi aduane no aye nkwan a wope na wamfa nkyere na ntum no oyede ya enye ne de enti ha ne de wo ba ha ye de nkyena a wope ye de tum ede ma wo na wudi so a wutimu se eye wo ketere manase de etefo ensam ne edoso uncountable na yenko ya ne wo the best ate afri eye ntokwa a ekoso ewo mrahye bedwafie me kire ntokwa na nya bibia etefo enrada ane ye wo ho no mana mrahye bedwafie obakaya Edom kuma wo led by Alexander Afenyo Markin afutu mrahye bedwani me no kasai endra ana eye Edom kuma no eye Edom Kɛseɛ wo mrahye bedwafie no Alex your friend say Mahama Ayaliga ana ne Edom Kɛseɛ wo mrahye bedwafie NDC afa no wono ana ne da no me no kasai yesase John Dramani Mahama aboni din se ono ne emra meye eye local government chieftaincy and religious affairs na onfa ema no mebodwumaden ana me no kasai Dr. Zinato eye Ajimai Lawrence wono so emeye minister for environment science and technology enfanso yamai Ghana nanum hono no ana his excellency John Dramani Mahama esa bo Supreme Court a judges mako miensa se wo mo betoto wo mo ano eno na edom kuma e wo mrahye bedwafie ni se womo no womo negotiate na negotiation akọọso no e kire se omo betoto nipa mienu ano eye nipa mienu na ombetoto omo ano no eye Mahama Ayaliga eye former eye majority leader ana afi Senator Lawrence wonwo nko na no omo betoto omo ano omo kọ kama antiase ye adwuma afi omo kọ vetting honomo no omo kọ toto omo ano a asem epie firi honomo eba ne se omo wi a Omosade eye Supreme Court a His Excellency John Dramani Mahama abo judges miensa ne di no ebesa atoa so eno ene kofa se entokwa gene ahyew ede baaye no na emrahye bedwafie ho no no na enye ize yenko ho no na yenko enkwe de ekoso ewo ho ye ba obi di aba betu dwa se wrani mechi no obeje yenko tie no na.
Don't start your thing. Don't start it and then finish and think you can control narrative. We have been very decent. Don't try it.
Minority leader,
don't start it,
you
Chairman.
You did not move a motion before the committee.
Chairman,
you raise a preliminary
you can't
objection.
Rule. It's not a ruling.
And the preliminary objection is supposed to be ruled upon by the rules of the House.
No, which rule? Quote it. Quote which rule? Quote the rule. Quote it. It's the standing order is here.
Yeah, so
mine is here.
Take your
majority that take your time.
No, take your
majority that he's capable.
No, take your,
he doesn't need a lawyer.
Please.
Let him. This is it. Rule it. Open.
Take your
Open.
final orders.
You people are taking this majority thing too far.
Open to 268.
You guys are taking this majority thing too far. No, we've not finished the argument. He cannot. Stop it.
Patrick.
You've had power. One day you may not have the power.
268.
Don't do this.
No, 268.
You know, it's not fair.
Open it. 268.
Majority leader.
No, open.
Stay out of this matter. Stay out of this matter. Which ruling?
Open to 268.
It is not within his right to rule anything here.
Please.
What is he going to rule?
Open to 268.
I moved. You didn't see. Yes. A motion. No. A motion was moved registering our preliminary objection. A motion was moved. We had a meeting with the clerk and him in his office. You were there. We all agreed that the nominee for the Supreme Court should be done in October. Clerk, he was there. We all agreed that let's do the nominees. So what changed? What changed? Why are you always frustrating everybody? Why are you taking the majority too far? And when we talk, we become victims. Why?
Please.
Why? He can't rule.
Please.
We have to argue. It's a motion that we raised and stated our grounds.
Listen to others.
The preliminary objection was grounded on our motion. Don't do it.
You listen.
He did.
You listen.
You were my mate.
You listen.
You were my mate. I was called before you. I was called before you.
Chairman.
You were my steady mate.
Chairman.
And you know my law is unsoiled. So stop what you are doing.
It's very clear. Have you seen the order?
You know my law is unsoiled. You know, Eche. You know. Don't let politics, make you behave this way. I've raised. He cannot rule. He can't rule. Rule on what? It's a motion. He should tell me where he can rule. We have to take a decision and vote.
That person, please.
It's not fair. We have a right of reply. Let us reply. He shouldn't rush. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we doing this to ourselves? It's not fair. Your own position in 2024. Ahy3hu, you were there. You said 14 days. Why 3 days? Why? And when we react, you start shouting and threatening us. And you start to threaten us. What's going on in this country? What is going on in this country? Under a reset. What's going on in this country? In today Ghana, you can't talk. You can't talk. They will threaten you, frustrate you. That's what you are doing. That is what you are doing. Maintain your own principle. Maintain your own principle. You act out of political convenience. Where is your principle? Ahy3hu is here. He said 14 days on the 30th of July, 2024. What has changed? Honorable Ahy3hu.
Let me explain what I changed.
Don't start your thing. Don't start it and then finish and think.
Atiefoɔ ɛne ahwɛfoɔ wei ɛyɛ dɔm kuma a ɛwɔ mmarahyɛbadwafie wɔn pani a wɔda wɔn ano ɛyɛ Alexander Kwabena Afenyomaa Akeafoto mmarahyɛbadwani wɔn ana wɔn de abɔ ani ɛne vetting ɛyɛ committee no ɛde abɔ ani ne nyinaa ne sɛ His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ɛbɔ nipa mmienu edin ɛyɛ Mahama Ahy3hu a na wɔn ne ɛdɔm kɛseɛ ɛwɔ mmarahyɛbadwafie no na ɔno ne yɛ pani a ɔda no as majority leader. Ana afei ɛyɛ Senator Lawrence ana obo mudin ɛyɛ Mahama Ahy3hu no mmarahyɛbadwafie wɔyɛ pani ɛwɔ hɔ no wɔno no ɛkɔ ana wɔbɛyɛ ɛyɛ Minister for Local ɛyɛ Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Ana afei Senator Lawrence so ɛba bɛyɛ Minister for Environment, Science and Technology. Mpanifo wɛ mienu ana ɛdɔm kuma wɔ mmarahyɛbadwafie no ɛdi to mu sɛ His Excellency John Dramani Mahama abɔ mu din sɛ ɔmo mɛsom. Ɔmo wɔ hɔ ne sɛ His Excellency John Dramani Mahama abɔ mpanifo mienu mmiɛnsa Supreme Court judges ɛnso mmiɛnsa ɛnso din ɛsɛ ɔmo so ɛmɛsom. Na oboye no odi date eka ho but omo ko eye committee ho no no empanifo e ho no ma ye dom kuma ne se edom kese ne se no eye so omo ye omo nyina vetting ansana omo apon ana Alexander Afenyomaa Akeafoto onti ase to the sense say omo di ka di nkomo before ansa no mu kwura eye committee won ma akototo omo ano enti ye de ne nipa mienu ana omo koye omo vetting na afi ye di Supreme Court judges miensa asa abeka ho eso atiefo me ne okasai se eye edom kuma no omo dooso ni nti no bibia eso etimi koso ama omo ye workout eso workout no omo ye ni nyina no ye omo eye vetting eye Supreme Court judges miensa no omo ye bibia to the sense edom ketu ewo ho no no se edom kase ne bro omo so bebre enti se obetena ho se wontena ho omo agye atuma enye yize kura wo mrahye bedwafie ho no mo enti no ho ntokwa ana ekoso ewo mrahye bedwafie ho no mo na enye yize ne yenko ye ne mo atiefo medical edi Kennedy esole no ma memfa nkɔhye kyire kakra efa running mate no no de aduro de empanifuo bi a accept so on beje running mate no eno ana me no kasai akwakoye nchi no ahyew kase pa kroma ba yen sati ni se ni enkoye ti kakra emfa ngom me no kasa sisi ayi ene ukokopie mu ewo MPP headquarters ya na enye yize kura ene wawa ni tuase nyankopon eye adoma ahiri me boss me da me kire October 3rd eya MPP for eba be piem wasantima mu akopem panifo a eya omo executive national executives a omo bebo Dr. Laji Mamudu Bawumia Kukuruba edina ko okon eya afempem yenu ene aduenu enwotwe ni mu kire 2028 election a edi ani mu no na enumu ana eya chesade soleba ene de aboboba no anotin ye papa na ukokopiem ewo MPP headquarters ya me no kasa Yuje Buachi entry o pesre obeye CEO ewo MPP mu nyina me kire general secretary position no o pese oba beje na eno ana wo kwakofa ne form ni ade nyina me kasa wo file ne forms ewo eye MPP headquarters enye yize kura na no no wodi to dwase watimi nyankopon abone ho ban ama watimi akọ eye 276 eye constituency across the nation Ghana ni nyina no watimi akọ awie no wodi nsam bi etu dwane yewia John Boadu eso pressure obeye national chairman ewo MPP mu one eye ya France eye Buachi ejako na enye ize ama party ni mu achama eye John Boadu akwakopie radio station bi so a ensem a wodi to dwa no ano oten se Buachi aja akwakotwa trone de oye dey obe expose no na enye ize yefiri mu fia koko so ho nhyehyɛ ya eye aban yi di aba a emra wahye a edom kuma wo mra hye bedwafie so wo monte asese His Excellency John Dramani Mahama enim se aboa ni ti no won na bɛwe anko hu yie adanti na aboa ni ti no wode makuafo no amakuafo na hu aboa ni hu ti ni hu yie na wo afi wode to nkwam na afa abene na aboa ni ti no wode mu na nwi taleta sa de wedi omonye yeni kantie eye Yuje Buachi entry emra abra okopie mu ewo MPP headquarters na okofare ne forms no enye yize kura yewia MPP running mate no obi ege eye hwanya yentie Buachi entry mra Yuje mra.
For the past, I would say 18 months, I've consulted widely. I've visited our two former presidents, John Ahy3hu and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, as well as the current flag bearer, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I've also consulted with the Council of Elders of our party, colleagues from Parliament, former executive of the government, and what have you. I've also spoken to all the 276 constituency as we speak. I've toured everywhere. And I think our beloved party is crying for a change. Crying for a change in view of the abysmal performance in the 2024 general elections. So we are here to make sure that we effect that change, to make sure that come the 7th of January 2029, His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia will be sworn in as the next president of the Republic of Ghana.
Yes.
Without further ado, I also take this opportunity to thank the various party executives from the 16 regions and the party elders who have really egged me on to this day and still supporting me to bring about the needed change. Our party is in dire need of some experienced hands at the national level to make sure that we match the National Democratic Congress, our main political opponents, boot for boot, in the upcoming elections. So I'll take this opportunity to thank all of you this morning for jumping out of your bed to accompany me to submit my forms. And God willing, on the 3rd of October, the election is in my constituency. The election will be held in my constituency. So the good gods of Subeng and Asantemai will prevail. I can assure you that we are going to win this election hands down. The reception has been fantastic. The cry for change has been massive. And we are just waiting for delegates to troop to Kumasi and make sure they effect change at this headquarters. Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you, Chairman.
For NPP mu UJ Boache entry April say obeye CEO Ediama the new Patriotic Party Nyankopon ya duma tu ahene ne asi ahene a ewo NPP mu ento aba emfa no na omeye CEO ewo NPP party mu na Kennedy akompre kwa Japan oka asem bi asem na okan no ache na asem no you ready yesu running mate momla hey Kennedy akompra kwa Japan ka say obedi president be kwanya obefa so odi bedi president no enye ize okopie kasafidie bi so na yeni kan tie ni voice we ye tie ni voice we wie ene ho afutuo ni wie a afi na MPP ye bewram why you late famu obi 7 yentimla yentie Kennedy kasa we mra ne yenko running mate nsensam ne ho.
If you are a young man and you say you want to be like Kennedy Japan, you have to sacrifice a lot of things. Postpone your spending today for tomorrow. In 1990, I had 11 houses, but I had to sell 6 of them to start life again. And that time, anybody selling his property means he's broke. The experience you acquire in business, the hardships you go through, the challenges you face, you don't find it in the books in the classroom. It's a secret. Bad boy. You should always make sure that your misfortunes, you turn it into blessing. If you want to succeed, don't be a myopic thinker. If you want to succeed in life, you have to dream big, talk big, do things big, and challenge yourself. I said I want to be president of this country, and I'll definitely be president of this country. If you are a young man and you say you want to be like Kennedy Japan, you have to sacrifice a lot of things. Postpone your spending today for tomorrow. In 1990, I had 11 houses, but I had to sell 6 of them to start life again. And that time, anybody selling his property means he's broke. The experience you acquire in business, the hardships you go through, the challenges you face, you don't find it in the books in the classroom. It's a secret. Bad boy. You should always make sure that your misfortune.
Therefore, any ashafo Kennedy akompra kwa Japan ekasa we ya wokae no yemfa nto wo no mansa ye bewura running mate sem no wonim say running mate no na pope afei afidase askwale mrache bedwani eye Ahy3hu eso epe ana afei okankwe eye central enso so opani eye Patrick Yaboama enso so epe ba ye ni kani nkomo wenwie ansa ne aba running mate nsem no obeka ya South Africa ato rancha bi kokosi wa Ghana fo mabunu ene Ghana fo no mu bi ekohre wo monkwane ade ye bo bi no mani ade awie numre ne ahomache eye doctor ye president John Dramani Mama eye na homete ene ade no so obekọ akofo mo ne wo aba enye yize kura na me no kasa sisi ai eye MTN fo wonim se MTN fo so omo achi every South Africa ene omo se ye hwe de ye kurom ye mpanifo ayehwe han ama omo abro Ghana fo na enye fe ewom se Ghana fo adehye ne mu biewu nanso enye sika de entimi ntonkwa nanso yase kwancha de fa ni nyina ye sika ya ana sabi bibia wo ewiase bia ne ye de sika na eye timadaroma Ghana fo madehye de omo ato momfa nche na momfa nche South Africa fo mpanifo ne ade afi yase hisasasi John Dramani Mahama tia se de omo kire panina odi ani mu ne kura na ne ho yemahi no de okura sika no ana ne ho yemahi atefo mi kiremu a South Africa for MTN for a ewo Ghana ha sei abobo sika no eye 20 million Ghana cedis e de abre his excellency John Dramani Mahama say wonye nempanifo a anasa Ghana de hye a omo ekonya omo akofrim wo e wo mo ankasa nchi South Africa no wonye no wonfanya bibi ma say microphone John Dramani Mahama tin was say munye serious makum nipa discribe ebe pata na ayese abanoma so atiase wo wanya wodofo na anim se adura na adwo ba bia kane adundum ni ade no abanoma ne mpese obeko esie na anim nti na ode ma e wo na anadwo no ana wo pepo na adi ubedi utiri so etiefo enya John Dramani Mahama ne ka we dia me be na me bu na de kosi ya ne se His Excellency John Dramani Mahama se sika no wonye ne ne enye ne kina efrisa de ye yakura ne se awofo no mu bi wote won ma na brain bia ba besi adaya amu na damu oba na awuo na we nyina enye South Africa fo ani wuo asoma mo MTF fo se omomfa sika mla ye no ane se na amen ene wa woni ye mampani John Dramani Mahama ase chasa na kuma baba na enye ize eno ana MPP fo afamu no okọ mrahye bedwafi a wopani baako a wogina mu edema omo wokankwe central wo mrahye bedwafie eye Patrick Yaw Buama wono ana ekasai ana se Ariel omampani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wo ho ene ayesa yi asensa abode wo yeyiwasum na ento ne ompanifo ene umpanifo akasa god board fo ni nyina yi omo asum na omo ntie nkaiboy efri me MPP ni mapa a migina mu wo mrahye bedwafie edema wokankwe central na ensabode anasa nkrato ya mede bai eyade a ka His Excellency John Dramani Mahama nka je to anka beboa adehye ne de omo awuko na so South Africa fo MTN enim se omo nchi free South Africa nti omo Ghana ha ejiji esika ne ade bebrebe nyina omo so omo aboa sika no 20 million Ghana cedis eso omo de boa His Excellency so mo nanka omo akonya omo enkwafrim wo ni ade omo awofo ene nkura omo abeye bedding e wo Ghana no kafa bo omo senka we de boni bia nim eso Patrick say honorable Patrick say one de na futu a wo de ma John Dramani Mahama ne say sika ne de na nu kwa say anko reject nanka say woje na yentie no emra ne yenhwe picture South Africa for nkura ne soso egu nchen minso say nkura Ghana mabunu ne soso nsem omo ka ye wia running mate nsensem no de oka eso edifa ho ene de mpanifo ni bia sori eso wasa running mate hu yentie no mra
Foreign Affairs Minister na se ministry ne de letter APA Bontena MTN e fa se wo mo ekofo mo free South Africa by victims ni ade no omo person mo support 20 million Ghana cedis minister say there be yehia ya na ya boye ka e de wo mo aba na ade. Do you think say rejecting that money no right thing to do?
Oh, maybe I mean it's a right thing to do.
Sir.
You see, MTN are partners of Ghana. Over taxes on Mutua or Chroma, they generate over $1 billion in their business.
Is a South African company?
Yes, they repatriate some, they create jobs, they've supported a lot of activities in their country.
No, but they get a lot from us as well.
Of course. I'm a master of Father Christmas. They've invested a lot too. Businessman be anywhere or bar. And now we are saying you can say you're foreign investor, foreign investment. You know. So you can say your Father Christmas. Or bar or be investor or expect to be making profit, no be a coin chrome. We're creating jobs. They've created jobs, they've done a lot of work. And to say, maybe say Abba, NASA or a Ghanaian company with a South African majority. They are listed, maybe. NASA sama to also your boy now so near.
But don't you think so? They said all kind of with the majority, from South Africa. Don't you think there's a way almost say you need NJ kwanya would be a month for be a fast
over register of protest. Yes. But a month for waka. If you a jail majuma Ahy3hu, you can support them. Ghana for South Africa, only over 30,000. Ghana for a core Eastern Cape. It's a country I love so much, South Africa, because nature near there, and I love it. Ghana for a culture, dear doctors near there, almost started with Eastern Cape, Port Elizabeth areas near there, and son almost Johannesburg, Cape Town near there, and say, and Durban. Into Ghana for teacher for professionals, engineers, more. Now, Asem Kɛseɛ, and yet at the papa, but I will say you do diplomacy, ACAC, and Sam Bebre. Meaning, South African Foreign Minister Lamola, Wabagana, only President Kuja to almost share. I know.
It is Ghanaian Kɛseɛ.
Of course, near the boy or more Kano. Oh, yes. All rejected, neither.
I said, it seems to
now, Busami, near my meeting, foreign policy. No? And so far, issues about national security and you're bad.
Okay.
Your borders and even internal security and you're bad.
Okay.
You must comment. There no Greaterone now they are two. Inti makabi achiro.
Inti bottom ni de and they bad.
So wa kra bottom nya.
Honorable Pacho, Mr. There you mean me free. Maybe Jama Ghana food, but also so now won't pay us for tea warm pint. Yeah, almost
I want you.
Okay.
I want you.
Okay.
Nano, a Bernardo Michelle La Paz, traders in Penifone. I acquire by Faswa, a bit my boy.
Almost I want you.
Hey, Papa. Oh, Papa. Hey. You see, I'm Kuala School. In Kuala List, I did Abramia or Mobile School, 344.
To be born with your boss trunk and a mattress.
And the media may be a bit more minchel. But my best is when you're more
a foreign affairs minister.
A tier for any Asher for Amo Shaying. Na Yanko anywhere. Obakaya, His Excellency, former Vice President, Dr. Ahy3hu Baumia, and the running mate in one sense, Akoya Diabia, Sabi, and Crawford Ahy3hu. Any idea Obakai and rather about told just said Dr. Ahy3hu Baumia list biaba. Na therefore, and some of power MP money at the end of the Biana Wayana Mentiasie. And Crawford Bebre, Aqua, I say, Canadian compra Quajapon, Aqua running mate. And the Binum say, na and some ben ya no more to a ya no more kicking. Running mate there, Canadian compra Quajapon or the Yade. Na me eya na asem bi wo no na me ni adanse a eya na me mpese meko na opani ba ko a yesi wo tai kika nsem bi ana me pewrani mate yedi ene wo ko YouTube na me wi a me wo secret bi de ben de ntia eya buache jaako ene afi John Boadu ekọ interview na afi nsem o mo ka echa se wo twene ho a wo ntia ase tefo me be ko ne baako oba so subscribe na like na share and some no neboko me kwani boko de amaw and some no eyade ma ba se de be ya wo beti ase kakra ni nti ye nto ye boase na me nto boase me cheche nsemu kakra emfa emaw eye Patrick eye yawoama okankwe central and was akopiem insense wo tu o mampani fo no was had tato ese ope running mate and ankrofo be sa na ate enti running mate a wo pe ene nu ntina asase na wo ye atefo yentem na ye wi a enkrofo bi so adwa so o mo na koye baumi adwuma na afi opani ya babonte abeka sei no ahwe yi a ye beyi na po asi nchen yentie opani Patrick Mra so Dr. Ahy3hu Baumia e de running mate ne mana obeje
Dr. Baumia body se be running mate obeye
I didn't know.
Okay. Inti Honorable Patrick Yabu must say Dr. Baumia body this on me running mate obeye.
I didn't know.
Let me just add it obeye na wonye.
I didn't know.
Inti Annie Debbie.
Annie.
That's it. I will say for Honorable Patrick Yabuama, Esquire, a member of Parliament in Wokan Queen Central, or Sansi Chairperson Emma Subsidiary Legislation Committee. Dr. Baumia body is a ben running meet obey.
I didn't know.
Okay. Inti Honorable Patrick Yabuama say.
I tell for video we are ushaying. Mebo video be ewo Kennedy when they are but video now maybe bona like enkrofo create a lot just say ade ni panye ye ye pam kabana hye running mate semi eye opani ya okasa ye eye okankwe central eye Patrick yawo buama wono na se wo open running mate Kennedy nkasa ye eso enkrofo pam kaba e de say Kennedy akompra kwada pon atu nkrofo bi so monko eye Baumia wono mo say running mate na obeje ana mokonya mu information every hin atefo ye koye ni ma me bebo video bi ye koye ni mansa obekaya me pesa me ye na wote ase me di besi nsem bi so na wote ase obekaya eye MPP mu omo regional election na omo kɔ no okaya list bi ba bonten list na ba ni Baumia de ne list ba sa so ana eye national empanifu a pen so yesi Baumia e de ne list aba na sa list we hu ana akofa entwinu ahyew ene nsem bebre edi aba MPP party nim na da bia maka che say to fuantie ene wo womati kopo to the sense say Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia ye nimu no wonya na adwene say obeka say order said the mpanifo kan order in court no amode ade bi ayi akraba akokura say tepoli ene ya omode bobo for nam say tepoli ye be chew eya order in court no Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia ntia wontimi mobi entre mpanifo say krofo di omudin say MPP party no atiefo me no kasa sisi ayi entokwa baako a ekoso ye kan tokwa we nya ntokwa we ya no we ka na we yaka we ka na we yaka we ka na we yaka unya ne baabi asa MPP se mintimi hu so omoda no omobeso dae no se ya no omunim se omo na wo power so omunim se omo wo sika bi omo kochew se de ye o otwene ho a wonte ase atiefo me no kasa sisi ayi John Boadua grante interview me kasa yi enra ne na wako station ko be meka hwe ankrofo be ba omo anim dodo stations a wako de bebre won countable wako eye Wontumi station ana afi wasa akọ eye UTV ana enrada wasa akọ piemu ewo asempa na asempa de no ana John Boadu eye running mate nsensem ya ode no kra de memfa nto me nyanka ne sese memfa no nto me ntwe no nto ba bi mesrawo eho no mempesa me call ma na me si wo yie na de besi so ma se ntokwa ene sa de we ba no meka de besi wo be hu se yes enipa ne bi ye cobra na cobra no enye yize wonim se ye de eye Chairman Wontumi koto mu me so me sorry se do so de Chairman Wontumi de ma menka ese nyankopon eye adom a eye bobo so me da to so aduenu mienu no Chairman Wontumi asem no ebesa akoso ebiem ewo ni sika Asem Bank esika ne ho eye 30 million Ghana cedis ne ho no yesade Chairman Wontumi be ko eye bobo so me da eye September ne da to so eye aduenu mienu yes ana Chairman Wontumi na Chairman Wontumi dansa wa mu no ana ye say Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia awi presi John Boadu se wono no meye national chairman me de beba be si wura ne meti de no so eno ana John Boadu ko interview ana wo kire mu se wate se boache jaako akwa kasem bi se ne measures ne niema bi a odi gu akwan mu eno na boa ma MPP ni timi fa ne ntampa etimi fry na John Boadu kasa no ana wo se na ya na binim kura o mo kasa ya no mo pese o mo kire sei yenya bre party ne ho age party de esi wono mo mabedi tumia age party no ajeje mu sei na yenya beye party akono sei na mu gina wono mo beje wo sa wono boache da akono firi fa anu wona ye party ni ye anu wode to ani mu se ono ompe party mu ntokwa ba wo de kasa tenten toponko edro beje wa ya trema yentie ono anu asa na mkra me ha adweme me wura posa ayede adanse o yentie
quickly ba me we can quiz polling station say no credit here. Brian, meaning Brian. Na go for brain as far back in 1997. Now me national service for 98.
Oh, okay.
The national service for in Kwetia Secondary School. Those times now no age madam from. All kind of presidential, I've never been part of his team. I've never. You call chairman for your meeting, my friend. Kumasi. Then I had a lot of friends who were former MCs.
Yes.
So almost Bob Brian Ho. Some of them I was looking for them. So me far you know. Oh, I fire. No more says oh minda na the following day. My boy Brian any meeting. Brian or NDCD?
No.
So me continue. Sometimes I not fake crown nobody declares or person contest. Then I was given the opportunity. I spoke and told them I want to contest as national chairman. End of business. Asa. This our story way. Okay, can you know anything? An open meeting. If you ask the 230 something MMDCs, open meeting, I opted that not just because of Bepe National Chairman, I will remain neutral. But behind him, I lost 2022 election primarily also because most of the presidential career thought that say Toma me Nigerians support Bawumia. So what changed? But me penny, ya fina, ya contest that may be Marco. I know them say This question about Sir JFK win, Namisme win, yeah. How am I going to? I did a private company in the form.
No.
Delegates there to Aba. Obviously, job where do your chairman, JFK, general secretary. No problem, any day. Sebi. Yeah, we. Akufo-Addo 98. Only Akufo contest. Yeah. That contest require bitter. Akufo winning ya. Oh yeah, no. Attorney General. And later foreign minister. In fact, your core cabinet. Omo ne Akufo-Addo contest 2018 bebre osafomafo damboche akmo busa ajima friends the akpans no ni cabinet but you report chairman for cocoa board friend saying omo nyina our cabinet the problem na me JFK wa the only thing is that we contest our election asa since I contest election no until what you talk about me as chairman, me role is different. Or general secretary, me role is different. The only thing I need to do is to compliment his effort. He also compliment my effort. Asa, something doing any Juma, I'm calling me private business. And you mention I me determine say when you. It is party people. I don't really. And don't name me pa name me Juma Maya. Ne Oma me no my Juma. Me no be am king come with Juma so. You ask Samioku, ask Nana B, ask Aziz Futa, ask Kate Jemfua, ask Return Sobaya. Even ask my national chairman, Freddie Blake. Nidiwa or chairman, what's a medemano? I know part two to win the fee. Committee a say no. Ye film, Frey count, ye count. Mr. Maybe I remember I say we see where you from. That is the decision. Then we move on. Sana. Me every I know there any issue, cry any issue. But I could be New York, no, okay, can't sound baby who say oh okay, can't serve that. They make your questions I'll be Sammy. Remember car will be our home. But some of course will not cry. Mete I say me here. Oh, never chanty. Opening Menjini say. There's a question on internal security. I know, dear media. Depending on what New York or many different way, the issue of strengthening our internal security a major issue. Because me to me say, now me call elections because security for police, soldier, I want to bomb me or buy it, no be abe bomb. Should you see friend is a black mandoti? So Babesia. Nipa da se ni to read to say aeroplane. Besine obia him for asofo ni de be wa Ghana habia obia ni wa condemn asem no. Now you penya protect provide internal security to protect yourself. Now me fie
but you fall foul of the anti-vigilante.
And also trust we are ballot box in Vanco. Anti-Vigilantism Act, no. A say, na ballot boxes go ha. Mayembe we anko. Electoral collation center or ha. Anti-Vigilantism law. Na say translation ni question no. Anti-Vigilantism law say manko fonye gangsters tax. Na yeto aba we are. They won't allow political parties to have their reps in collation centers. Is that what the anti-vigilante law says? So if I will empower our party people to make sure, say, you're talking about Biambe, we have a ballot box. Utume Koshe collation center. Utume and preventing Kofo from going to vote. What was it again? Yeah, no, I was part of it. And to fear because they need to provide security. If you do we are not going to report our police. So my investigation. In fact, in a young for it to me a job on your mother. So that one you must, and I've done it before 2016, 2020. I did it. Make sure, say, and even you see this dates back to even the year 2000. when Courage Kwashiga Damboche, Odesai and Co were managing the party. As part of the structures for D-Day activities, we had what we call 5 support group at each and every polling station. Support group. Into our honor, polling agents. Saturn NDC for to be this Hunupa on Panova Chipalo boss. Nobody call for yesterday a bone call for her. No. And to me, see. And to me, see, cry. No, dear, it should not. So, it should. And no, dear, say, I'm ranting about also strengthening, no protecting ballot box, properties, and persons of our party. Because no name is really done anything. Something, ha, me cry, boy, no, I know, dear, and yeah, dear, a basic crack.
Tiefo ni ahwefo wei eye John Boadu okopie mu ewo asempa ana odi sensem we nyina etudwa na de ama party no Ahy3hu no John Boadu e de reply bi ema eye Boakye Jaako wonim sesese race no a omokọ no wone Boakye Jaako ana anini nyina ewo omumienu ho to the sense sesei ade baako anhwe a ebetimi edi John Boadu enya pa ne se uhwe contest we na omokọ na uhwe Dr. Laji Mahmoud Bawumia eya original election na uhwe say na list na ba ne ade a amfa wokọ Central region, Ashanti region, ana afi Eastern region ni ade a empanifu edi mu yie kabie ye ne ade ne nyina no omunyina enye Dr. Laji Mahmoud Bawumia supporters omunyina yenka ne sa omo support do menkaso omo no Dr. Laji omo do Dr. Laji Mahmoud Bawumia ba di ankrofo a no omo ye behind ewo Kennedy any Dr. Bna Champon any others no enti Dr. Laji Mahmoud Bawumia list na nkasa amfa enti na nkani wo kwa se John Boadu tirimu ye ne de se ye beto aba na Bawumia candidate no sa de na ni wo kwa se wo ye sa de no na yensantie otake Boakye Jaako esoso ewo ne interview a okọ yentie no nemra sisi.
And that meeting, one of the contestants say, made a new plan for power by the winning.
That was the question.
That's a new plan for power or the Oja.
Yeah, because I say, we will take it over in that acting capacity. Now, on my parliamentary primaries across the country, no my presidential primaries, Nina call very seamless into a prepared grounds no for the victory.
Ucha, Anka Gua, no way sit down. Ucha Anka Gua, no way sit down. The last election year, the presidential election year, never fine pa. Parliamentary election never fine pa. Vote in Prime Minister no crowd by year. No, na year polling station. No, na year electoral area. No, na year constituency. No, na year region. Yen ya to about my national na Sir John Wire Elumina. And we
now a national organizer.
Yeah, I was the national organizer of the party. Yeah, Yen answer no move your name manifesto. Answer no move your no now logistics and vehicles in the was here demand constituency e be ni ho. Answer no move your not general orientation also a Yema constituency region and polling station obi anye. Answer no move your no na the coalition planner. Sa plan oja ho.
So now new plan.
When he oja na document no whatever. When he man didn't draw. It is never right. Say
the fact say they are done the parliamentary primaries and the presidential primaries. You as an executive,
I'm the national officer, national organizer of the party.
Sure.
Now Ucha Anka Gua no is dying. And the fact that Yabeye parliamentary primaries, presidential primaries, and just what we need elections. I'm giving you a typical example of the new patriotic party. Abra Yaya parliamentary, Akoye, presidential Akoye, results in the constituency. Until anybody sitting somewhere and Minister Kasa. Because for us to develop, look at what happened to us in the year 2012. Even we didn't even know some of the police stations or non-police stations. So police agent assigned. What it means is that enough training did not go into making sure say we pulling agents, knows what he's doing. Coalition plan. This is the first time in the history of our country where a political party, not even in government, in opposition, it will develop a robust system. Does he know how we went through we did even mock elections? Now, what we went through. It got to a point. He said, "Oh, who MPP what TV so no doom TV no."
Oba also one can say man for no see bonnet.
Ah, the video no.
Go for Jane no see.
See bonnet saying if we had the young Miss go too into kind. What the bitch no. There make cases so they say. Because if we had the party leadership had not taken the decision, I don't think that would have even gotten 100 seats.
And
because
we need 26.
even they're winning, every day we are in the news for wrong reasons. National security and the police abe parking amoka where headquarters permanently.
Asylum down
office no permanently. You to be steering committee at that office. You steering committee or airport view. Now I say war. I say Iran, America. We are high security, and that is the new plan. That was a new plan. Where Jahako Waba? Yeah, to us so at the young kwa at the risk of our lives and our career. Don't come and insult us. Don't come and insult us.
But he may have been stating.
Please. Yeah. Do you know how we even raise money? We develop what we call adopt the polling station concept. As if we were in government. Raise enormous resources. Look, before 2016, 2012 campaign year, you call Lizzie cars and the mark constituency for. You two about we now say the cars and go back. One of them all campaign so me buy my mama cars. Why your bicycle cry am farmer. We have to. Do you know how we struggle to even get resources to buy vehicles for the 2016 campaign? What is this? But at the end of the day, please, I am in purpose now. You understand? You know that they are coming in. Me friend say me and a year. I don't seek to claim any credit whatsoever. But for somebody to sit somewhere, having run the party, I want to be in a meeting, keke you to be there. You to be in a meeting. To come back to say the plan be to honor. What plan was the other? Oh, okay, one of the plan is jaro.
What's a plan or the core campaign? And the core catch a party for a plan of me winning election.
It's a plan or the campaign or the Mahai.
That one I will not know.
What but your plan over here?
No.
No, there was no plan anyway. Please, no, and then one of the contestants say, made a new plan for power by any winning.
Yeah. A tear for any for way John Boadu, one Boachia Jaco, or more in our air say MPP, on Bay Gentini, Ediama MPP Amanyokunu, Anna Diaco, we say when you be, we say when you now video way, Namia Duma, Monday. And what's Mbeba? Yes, Monday and what's Mbeba? Video way a interviewer Kennedy a compra kwa Japan. Ekoya ni Kesven. Video way but producer, my memo video be I think 2 years now. Video na cheo ache wakon wa Kesven. But opening us some work and make no one mentiase. Because Kennedy kasa we ya walk an emu dia wo hen ma hwehwe video na mi hu ba video Kennedy kasa yi utia emu dia yin na Kennedy kasa opewrani mate menti ase enti wo video ya bo video ni mam na de emedi nkomo no
Mahama na mo si mi en kasa my country because umpe utuma ba umia you can beat Mahama na mo si mi en kasa my kasa we lost the election in 2022.
Oh, yes.
Yes, Miss Ru.
What exactly did you mean by such comments? Because who we need MPP Fragberry, yeah. Obia second debate campaign on Adudanko Akufo-Addo and Baumia MPP government.
Yes.
But the same Ken can say they lost the election in 2022.
Yeah.
And now NDC communicators as a can buy no.
Let them say. Me say. Me catch roll straight. So I don't know man making it straight and me making it straight. I was referring to Baumia. Because Baumia na catch roll say if your fundamentals are weak, your exchange rate will expose you. I mean, me makasa.
Okay.
Me winia. I can easily defend it because me policies am there, but President Akufo-Addo free SHS will be maintained. One district, one factory will be maintained. But others messes them. But the economy itself. Me can't Ghana for any party for a bit my stereotype. They don't want to listen. Media catch the woo. Nessa who we a delegate na obi ebe convince wa. Na wo I'm guys and chiro. Obanyini. Na wo say maminka. Na emra mimi sika ehye no. Obi ka jam say me MPP ni die nyimi sika ntonchen. Na sika no say mimi dia hia. Am I the only businessman ni sika ahye? What you say?
Okay.
Na no me ka say we pe na aboso kan for e ka say adenti no wa moyedi. Ye nyina ye buafu a ye twen. So the Baumia ba say ne be si atoatia no. Because the man went out there when your fundamentals are weak, your exchange rate will expose you. Has it changed? If $1 to 4 cedis, what's the fundamentals are weak? And $4 to 12 cedis, what's the fundamentals near weak?
I almost say a quarter matter. They are not all you know.
A tier for ni ahwefo video ya wo hwe yi mesa boba kwa kam na nyankopon ya adom Monday twedi ampon nyankopon e de Monday ne kyeyen na ye bafia video yi wo hye ne so watie sabo ken video we sa ka ho mame na me fa nya ade running mate ne ho wo de ebedi nkomo pa sabo no ka me ho.
If you are a young man and you say you want to be like in Japan, you have to sacrifice a lot of things. Postpone your spending today for tomorrow. In 1990, I had 11 houses, but I had to sell 6 of them to start life again. And that time, anybody selling his property means he's broke. The experience you acquire in business, the hardships you go through, the challenges you face, you don't find it in the books in the classroom. It's a secret. Bad boy. You should always make sure that your misfortunes, you turn it into blessing. If you want to succeed, don't be a myopic thinker if you want to succeed in life. You have to dream big, talk big, do things big, and challenge yourself. I said I want to be president of this country, and I'll definitely be president of this country. If you
menkasa Monday nyankopon ya adom a ye bedi nkomo Monday na tiai abrante ba kwa Dennis Milakaboaje enche bia ana NDC fo ba ye omode ni ko yoko ni ade yeso wo ntukwan ni watukwan ni ade waso wo pre ese MPP mu obeba be ye communications eye director e dia ma the new patriotic party no anu so converting opani wo beka ya wano na ye obi a no otaki kededi akompre kwaja popa na mse nyankopon ya adoma Monday fact bia won mu bia ne ade ne de bebro ono ne converting a wo prese MPP mu wo be ye eye communications eye director national communication director de ama MPP na ne verti okoye no kasa yenti ono ne mra na ade ensam no afe na eboboba yenti mra.
And if there's any one person that understands clearly where we are at the moment and what is required for us to come back to power, it's me, Dennis Milakaboaje. I have been polling station youth organizer, polling station chairman, constituency deputy youth organizer, constituency youth organizer. I have been campaign manager for my constituency for 2008, 2012, 2016. In 2020, I coordinated the party's entire command center on election day. In 2024, I had the honor to speak on behalf of the party's campaign in the elections. I have spent time learning. I have spent years understanding. And so when I tell you we are going to command the narratives, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I promise all of you that together with you, we are going to remove this NDC government. They know they have failed. We are not the ones saying it. Line by line, they have failed to fulfill any of the promises they made to the people. The teachers, the nurses, the truck drivers, the millions of unemployed young people all had hope that they were going to do something extraordinary, and yet they let them down. 2 years down the line, you don't even see the path towards fulfillment of their promises. That is what you and I have a responsibility to carry to the people. Show them the failures of this government, hold the government to account, but most importantly, let them know the vision of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and what Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia represents and what Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia intends to deliver for the good people of this country. When I say trust me, trust me. When I say believe me, believe me. We are coming into your constituencies not to campaign. We are coming to learn and work together and prepare for even 10th of October. Now by the time we wake up the morning of the 4th of October, the entire MPP communications machinery should be ready to take on the mantle and take the message to the good people of this country. We have a very unrelented, talented, motivated and dedicated young team who are willing to learn and most importantly, willing to work with those who have worked this party before, those who understand the ropes of this journey. And once we are willing to learn, once we are ready to take the guidance from these people, I can assure you, with the blend of the old and the blend of the new, being led by the Gen Z's president, you can be rest assured. We are going to get the ears of the voters. They are going to hear us and they are going to listen to us. We are going to respectfully remove this NDC government. And we are going to do this grounded in facts, driven by passion and fire, and most importantly, backed by the strategy that they will not see coming. From today onwards, the face of the MPP communications is going to change. Never seen before.
Ajefo ni ahwefo we ye Dennis Milakabwaje ana ono so airpre say MPP mu obeba be communications director me no kasa ide Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia kasa CCI where Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia explain why he championed the use of gold to stabilize the city. Ekwanya ye faso edi gold obi say eh na woni mu na wantimi ahu amana anya akono yi me no kasa CCI wane small scale miners achia a wone omo nkyerechira omo ye no wo kyerechire mu kwanya ye faso anase wo champion ye ana wo pese city no ubetimi di gold stabilize na amana gina ne na so ne ade wo ye ho ade na yenko wemra me no kasa CCI ubepie mu ewo asanteman mu a eye ofin so south abrantie opani ba ko a wo mra hye bedwam edema omo eye Dr. Isaac Opoku wono na MPP afa mra hye bedwafie no eye food and agric committee no woda no won edi to dwa se emra hisesensi John Dramani mama akwa edi ama akuafo se ukoko kra no se ukoko wa do ukoko ni ade no se ubetwa hu nwura ni bi atu agu kra na unless say wakwaje permit wakwaje afri empanifo wakọ ama empanifo accept say kone kotwa wankasa wudi ukoko no se nkrampa bi na abaso se nso wa wutwa ho ni ade a wuntwantu ni ade no emra aba ye de stamp asiso ewo kromo anmo ne se uye kwani na pese otwa ukoko mkra ade so wakọ empanifo akwaje permit akọ afri omo ho akọ siki permit afri omo ho ama omo age atumu se ukoko no ubetimi de sekan atwitwa ho eno ana ukọ mrahye bedwafi a opani a wogina mo edema wo mo eye offense shout mrahye bedwani eye Dr. Isaac Opoku a wosan wo mrahye bedwafie ewo food and agri committee ne so no wodi etu dwase sadia hisasensi John Dramani mama ye no nanka wonim se obefre eye akuafo no akire omumu a ne ne ukwa so wo hyese mla nansa de adro ya wakwa hye mla na wie no anu asan fra kuafo ese omomla no wonkyere omo emla na ase yeyie na yentie eye Dr. Isaac Opoku eye food and agri committee ewo mrahye bedwafim don kuma nafa yentie nimla
so samra we no na me say omo nye omo dwen say omo be enforce untimi kra enforce
okay
na kuyani pe na beti ne kuku a wontumi nton and na kuyani no nyo no na register no won na so ko register no sani ameka ye no na do dan kwaku for the starting side registration or starting in 2019 7 years in intimi register kuafo nyina eza me metimi medokwaye ne me register me antimi ntimi enton me koko so na oko 57 hono a hono ye nyina de ye ni de akire pa 57 hono eno the pricing formula also be make for 70% oko e beton na wo hwe first draft na ba ya ye nyina nanka ye ni je hono a also be make for 70% of the world market price. Some of no, I say the idea chain, they come on Mampenino, no, Negidi, as a sign of Diano. They are being say, every man almost 70% of gross FOB price achieved by Cocoa Board.
Okay.
So, the affair and your Cocoa Board for the Bignano, and not 70%, and on the money, and then yeah, well market price. So, nje anajomana sene omoba no so se nyenya ya obi ane omuni hu achinye ekise omono de wontumi e monitor say well market price akọ ofo nsia na ogugura obi hu well market price now the living income differential of 400 account now the premium of between 150 and $300 also asaka home no calculate with 70%. They say the almost gross FOB price achieved by Cocoa Board. Cocoa Board sika omo benyano ya obia enhunu bia no and almost 70% anom de be mai. Ya shemra na wi enti ye nyina ye de ni be de akire. And na wo ka ba kono under clause 81 hono.
Yes.
81 hono no say prohibited activities on protected farms. So, prohibited activities on protected farms. A person shall not destroy, uproot, damage, or fell a cocoa tree, a cocoa tree, except for the purposes of rehabilitation approved by Cocoa Board. They say, "Oh, cocoa be about cocoa." I just say, "Oh, Shrokrata, a Cocoa Board." Now, Cocoa Board from Penny Fort, and I say, "Near Mo be better, near Sam Cocoa, where be away over to so, na so person we enforce law idea. Like I bet you any idea to. If it's a routine, and na me no ka say ne fia yi ku afoko omo fomu a, omo se ne koko ne suma ba baby a obi twetwam. Omo se ne koko ne
atefo eni ahwefo jezi enye izo atefo eni ahwefo me no ka say eye ofin so MP Dr. Isaac Opoku Food and Agri Committee ewo mrahebedwafie no wono ana ekasa ewo ho no wono ne kasa ye ya wotie ni nyina ne se eye His Excellency John Dramani Mahama emra okwehyefa eye koko ho no ene ade no na nka ese onim se obema kuafo na atiase na nka kuafo na je etuma eni nkwa so okwehye se emra no wahye mra se kuafo no kra omuni nkwa so omode sekan twa omu koko mu ene ade na nka ese wono omu negotiate na omo tiase yie ansa no akwa akwehye omo ka bia enam so omo odom dodo nti anya adwuma na atiefo de ekofa me no kasa sisi edom kuma no eye press conference na eno a wobeka ye ntoko esi mra hyebedwafie abla na vetting ekoso no enye ize me no kasa ide ntoko ni nyina chi ni ade no enam se NDC mu omo wo edom dodo nti no omo dom dodo no omo wo no eje eye Supreme Court judges maako miensa His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ebodin yes judges no ane da so no na chese de adro de anya confirm upon to call mo kun ye ne ade nyina me no kasa omo de press conference a hyese so ye be kwa kofa e de abro oni nyina no ntokwa no enyina achi no still na Supreme Court judges no yaje omo atumu a enye yize kura sa so ana eye Senator Lawrence ne kane majority leader Mahama Ayaliga wono so yaje womo so atumu a omo ekwakoye omo adwuma enti ka say Mahama Ayaliga ene Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs and Senator Lawrence former president the late Lawrence ne baba Dr. Zenato Lawrence Ajimai Lawrence ono na minister for food environment science and technology ono de abutoyemu Alexander Afenyoma kemu gitumu eso ombeye vete no na emom Supreme Court de no judges no ana omo ye omo adwen se dabi omo no omo anka ne saa so omo beye saa de no eno eho vetting ene ade ena ekoso a make say yaje omo nyina atumu no edom kuma e wo mra hye bedwade efie no omo so ani brese krodom ene vetting ene press conference a omo de ahyehye so no enye ize yenko na yentie omo press conference a omo no emra CCA atiefo ye wiewei yankobla yenti omo vetting mra
You can't talk. They will threaten you. Don't start your thing. Don't start it. And then finish and think you can control narrative. We are being very decent. Don't try it.
Minority leader,
don't start it, Chairman.
You did not move a motion before the committee.
Chairman,
raised a preliminary
you can't
objection.
Rule. It's not a ruling.
And the preliminary objection is supposed to be ruled upon by the rules of the House.
No, which rule? Quote it. Quote which rule? Quote the rule. Quote it. If the standing order is here.
Yeah, so
mine is here.
Take your time.
Majority that take your time.
No, take your
majority
time.
That he is capable.
No, take your.
He doesn't need a lawyer.
Please.
Let him. This is it. Rule it. Open.
Take your
Open.
orders.
You people are taking this majority thing too far.
Open to 268.
You guys are taking this majority thing too far. No, we've not finished the argument. He cannot. Stop it.
Patrick.
You've had power. One day you may not have the power.
268.
Don't do this.
No, 268.
It's not fair.
Open
and you know my law is on soil.
Colleagues of the media, let me thank you for your quick and prompt response to our call. This morning, we have some very important matters that we have to put out. And we will, from the outset, plead with you that you get the clarity of our message this morning. And we wish that you communicate same to the Ghanaian people. So the presser will be led by our able leader who will communicate our position on some key national issues. Without much ado, let's listen to the veritable minority leader. I thank you. Leader.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, fellow citizens of Ghana, we want to thank you, especially the media, for coming to listen to us on this short notice. We wish we did not have to call you this early. But tomorrow this house rises, and before it rises, the majority is plotting something that should alarm every Ghanaian who still believes in this constitution. We are here to tell you exactly what happened and exactly what the law says. On Monday, the Right Honorable Speaker referred 5 names to the appointment committee, 2 nominees for ministerial office, 3 nominees for the Supreme Court of Ghana. That referral came on the very first day of this emergency recall. The recall ends tomorrow, Friday. The majority now wants all 5 nominees vetted, reported on, and approved before the House rises. We say no, and we say it with the Constitution and our own standing orders in our hands. We say no because the people of Ghana must participate in the process.
We say no because as minority, we are here to fight for the interests of the Ghanaian people. Our stance is not a partisan stand. It is a stand for the people of Ghana. What we would accept, my dear members of the media, on the 2 ministerial nominees, we are ready to engage. The Honorable Ahy3hu, Member of Parliament for Boko Central, has been nominated for local government, chieftaincy and religious affairs. Dr. Zaneto Ajiman Rawlings, Member of Parliament for Kole Klote, has been nominated for environment, science and technology. Article 78(1) of the Constitution gives Parliament the duty to approve ministers. We take that duty seriously. We will vet them fairly and within a sensible time. On this, we have a precedence. The precedence is, on a previous occasion, there was a proper motion, there was a waiver, and because they are for the purpose of governance, those ministries would need a political appointee to supervise and ensure government business goes on. We are not here to stampede that process. Therefore, we believe that because of their own standing in the House, we can take them today. Now, on the 3 nominees, our answer is firm and is in accordance with the NDC's own principal stand in 2024. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, for the records, in 2024, President Akufo-Addo brought 2 nominees. My respected colleague who was the acting chair, there was an advert that was placed in the papers and they were given 10 days within which to appear. The NDC led by Dr. Kasiel Atufose as minority leader, Honorable Kwame Abuja as minority chief whip, and the current majority leader, Honorable Mahama Ahy3hu, led the charge on behalf of the NDC. They opposed the vetting of the nominees. They physically prevented the vetting of the nominees. Their argument was that the 10 days was not enough, that the public must be given the opportunity to participate fully in the process. Therefore, we should suspend. Ladies and gentlemen, as Democrats as we are, then in majority, we listened to them and we suspended the vetting to allow for the 14 days minimum notice in the public space. Thereafter, they participated in the vetting. We listened to them. We engage. We believe that democracy thrives where parties are able to engage each other. That is what we did. Even after the process, they refused to participate in the final process of approval on the floor. We did not fight with them. Today, they are here claiming that just 3 days after announcement of nominees on the House floor, there must be vetting and approval. We do not accept. We see that the majority is trampling on the rules of the House. And we want the country to know the actual words of our own standing orders, because the majority has not been honest about them. The NDC majority has not been honest about the rules. Order 21711 requires appointment committee to report to Parliament within 3 days. But if you read that correctly, it does not mean 3 days after referral. So they are wrong if they insist that just 3 days after the referral, there must be vetting. They are wrong.
Eno ara na ye fife odo ma wo mai eno ariya Odoma umai. Enwara na yehwehwe odoma umai. Enwara ya.
Order 2674 tells us how long a committee normally has to report on any matter referred to it. And Order 2172 requires the chairperson, the ranking, and 2 other members of the relevant subject matter committee to join the appointment committee for every single nominee. Order 21710 requires nominees' names to be published so the public can send in memoranda. Order 265 set quorum at 1/3 of committee. Order 226 let a committee decide to sit in public or in private and requires it to reconvene when business is not finished at one sitting. Our emphasis is on the requirement to publish the names of nominees for the public to send memoranda. Ladies and gentlemen, we, the NPP minority, would want to make it clear. We are not opposed to the nomination. We are not opposed to the nomination. We believe that it is the president's constitutional mandate to engage in that process. But let us quickly point out to one fact, that the NDC is an unprincipled political party. It does not believe in political principle. It is inconsistent and it acts out of political convenience. You may recall that in 2024, one of their arguments was that the nomination of 2 justices to the Supreme Court amounted to the packing of the courts. But since they came, if we add these 3 nominees to the already 7 they have nominated, which Parliament approved, it makes it 10. Does that also amount to the packing of the courts? We want the Ghanaian people to judge that our friends are never consistent, they are never principled, they only act out of political convenience and confuse the people of Ghana. We will not follow that path. We are principled. We believe that at the Supreme Court, the president has the mandate to nominate and go through the process of Judicial Council and Council of State. So we will not stampede the process, but we must point out that our friends don't believe in any principle. Now let us also point out that for these Supreme Court justices, there was no such proper motion even on the floor for the purposes of suspending outstanding orders. There is no decision of the House resolving that these justices be vetted just within 3 days after the announcement was made to the members of Parliament and referral made to the committee. Now, proceeding to vet these nominees bring to the fore some dangers. We want to point them out. One danger is that a nominee may carry a permanent shadow over its legitimacy. Every ruling these 3 justices have ever made, every dispute that matters to this nation will be met by a question. Were you properly vetted? Were you installed in a hurry to suit one government convenience? That question will not go away. It will follow every judgment that they sign for the rest of their career. Again, the danger of a precedent that no future Ghana can undo. Let me point out that since 1992, all Supreme Court nominees have gone through the process of being properly vetted. Notice to the public have always met the minimum 2 weeks per our practice. This is the first time the NDC is using its supermajority to vet Supreme Court nominees in just 3 days after announcement. And we want to explain to the people of Ghana that deferring vetting would cost nothing and the haste would cost everything. We must say it plainly because the country deserves plain speech. Deferring the vetting of these 3 nominees by few weeks harms no one. Yes, the courts are presently in vacation, but vacation is not closure. Where a matter is truly pressing, the Supreme Court sits during vacation and rules on the urgent question of law before it, exactly as our practice has always allowed. The administration of justice in this country has not come to a halt for a single day. No case that genuinely can not wait has been left to wait. There is no queue of litigants whose justice is delayed because these three have not yet taken the oath. Anyone who tells you Supreme Court have gone silent is asking you to believe a fiction. Now weigh that against what his costs. A justice confirmed in 4 days or 3 days without proper time for the public to raise concerns under Order 21710, without the subject committee members properly seated under Order 2172, carries that shadow onto the bench for the rest of a working life. That is not a cost this nation pays once. It is a cost we pay every single time that justice signs a judgment that shapes this country's future. The FERA also protect the nominees themselves. Justice Benasco Issa, Justice Amuako Asante, and Mr. Tony Forson deserve a process that gives their appointment unquestioned legitimacy, not one that hands their critics, fairly or not, a talking point about how quickly they arrived on the bench. A nominee who is properly vetted enters that courtroom with the authority of a process the whole nation can respect. A nominee rushed through in 3 days enters carrying a question that mark no ruling can ever fully erase. If we truly believe these three are equal to the task, then we should want them vetted properly, precisely so that no one can ever say otherwise. And the FERA cost the majority nothing either, except the small inconvenience of doing this right. Nothing in our constitution or our standing orders penalizes a committee for taking time under Order 2674. 3 months is the ordinary rule. Nobody loses a single privilege of government by allowing this committee the weeks it needs. The only thing anyone loses is the political convenience of announcing 3 justices before this recall closes tomorrow. That convenience is not worth what it costs the country. This is why we say, respectfully but firmly, that responsible cause is not a rush. It is to defer. Let the committee take the time our own rules already allow. Let the public speak under Order 21710. Let the relevant committees be properly seated under Order 2172. Let these 3 nominees arrive on our highest bench, carrying the full, unquestioned legitimacy that only a proper process can give them. That is no obstruction by us. That is this House doing its constitutional duty. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, there is no vacancy and there is no emergency. We want to be very correct with an impression that has been allowed to take root because plain speech demands it. These 3 nominees are not filling vacancies on the Supreme Court. There is no vacancy on the bench today that without these nominees being approved, the court cannot be properly empaneled or constituted. The Supreme Court currently sits with its full complement of justices, hearing cases and handling down judgment as it should. What the president is proposing is not to urgently replace anyone who has left. It is to add 3 further justices to the members already sitting there. If there is no vacancy to fill, there is certainly no emergency compelling anyone to fill it inside for 3 days. Compare that with what happened only last year. Ghana lost ministers of state in a tragic helicopter crash in the Ashanti region. Those were real vacancies in real ministries at the heart of government. The president waited for 1 full year before naming replacement. 1 full year. If filling those 2 genuine ministerial vacancies that truly been an emergency, he would not have waited for that long. So we ask again, if a full year was acceptable for real vacancies in government, why is 3 days now being treated as an emergency for seats on the Supreme Court that are not even vacant. There is no fire here. Yes, this is the judicial vacation, but the administration of justice has not entirely come to a halt. Where it is absolutely necessary, the Supreme Court is sitting and deciding the questions of law that cannot wait. Nothing about our justice system is on life support because 3 additional justices have not yet joined the bench. Nobody should be made to believe otherwise. Still, we repeat our offer in good faith. We are ready to vet the 2 ministerial nominees fairly and promptly. What we will not accept is the 3 Supreme Court nominees being rushed through as though the court cannot function another week without them. And ladies and gentlemen of the press, let me break something down. We are in the month of August. We have the whole of September. Committees can even work when the House is not sitting. So if the 2 weeks is dealt with, the committee can still come in September, somewhere in the 2nd week of September, and vet these nominees. We can get our report done, and when Parliament resumes in October, still pass them or take a decision on them before the legal year begins. So why the rush? Again, we see the NDC government breaking its own promise. When this government got into office in a commanding majority in this house, its own leaders stood before Ghana and promised restraint. They promised the country they would not abuse the numbers the people have given them. That promise did not survive long. It has been tested and broken again and again since this government took its seat. What the majority is pressing to do with these 3 Supreme Court nominations is not a new departure. It is simply the latest chapter in the broken promises. And it is a terrible culture that must end. It betrays the mandate of the Ghanaian people. A majority that keeps finding new ways to bend the rules to its convenience should not be surprised when the country stops believing its next promise of restraint. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the press, let me deal with the real emergencies which are sitting untouched. While the majority races to install 3 new justices in 3 days, 2 matters of genuine national emergency sit untouched, ignored, ready and waiting. This country is still waiting for answers on $1.7 billion in losses connected to Gold Board and Bank of Ghana, equivalent of 22 billion Ghana cedi losses. That is public money. That is the nation's money. A loss of that scale threatens the fiscal health of our economy, the strength of our currency, and the confidence of every Ghanaian who depends on sound banking system. If anything deserves the word emergency, it is a hazard of that size to our national purse. This country also lived through nationwide power outages that put lives at the risk and expose our national security to real danger. Hospitals depend on the steady power. Security installations depend on steady power. Water systems depend on steady power. In one instance, it took our engineers several days, running one into the next, to restore power fully across the country. Those are emergencies in the truest sense of the word. A threat to our economy measured in billions of cedis. A threat to our security measured in days without power and in lives placed at risk. We are grateful that the Speaker admitted our motion on the loss of $2 billion for the consideration of this House. We commend him for that patriotic stance. But we must place something on record today, honestly and respectfully. The Speaker has, in his own wisdom, decided not to allow the motion to be moved during this special sitting. We have every serious reservations about that. A matter of this magnitude, a matter that touches the very integrity of our economy and our financial institutions, deserve to be heard without delay. However, we are patient. We will respect the Speaker. and will respect the decision to take it when Parliament regularly resumes by October. However, what we see is the NDC's unprincipled position. Whilst they want our motion to wait, they are in a haste to vet ministers. We can't accept that. We see that the majority today is not ready to engage. All they want is their political convenience. Our call to the nation, to the Ghana Bar Association, to our retired justices, to the judicial service, to SHRAJ, to every professional body that cares about our courts. We want all of you to speak now. Tell the country whether 3 days is enough to vet 3 Supreme Court justices. This is whether we still believe our highest court deserves more care than 96 hours can give it. To the media, keep asking one question. Question the majority. What is the real emergency here? And to the majority, it is not too late to step back. Work with us on the 2 ministerial nominees, on a fair and sensible timetable, but abandon this plot to force through 3 Supreme Court vetting before tomorrow closes. And to our President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we pray you kindly reach out to your members and let them know that everything they do, every misstep today goes against your legacy. You brought the nominations, the Speaker has read them out and referred to the committee. What you didn't ask the majority to do is to rush them through and stampede the process. As we have already said, committees of Parliament have onerous responsibilities. They serve as the fulcrum in the performance of the functions of Parliament. That is why it is said that Parliament is as strong as its committees make it. In that regard, nothing should be done to impede or stampede any committee in the performance of its functions. Mr. President, you have been a member of Parliament before. You have served on committees on Parliament. This is what your members are doing here. They are trying to use their supermajority to stampede the Committee of Parliament in the performance of its duties. Please call them to order. Again, as provided for under Article 1033, committees are charged with the responsibility of investigation and inquiry into the activities of MDAs, and in this case, into the performance of nominees to establish their qualification, eligibility, and suitability to occupy the office or position assigned to them respectively. This must be thorough, and it requires a thorough job. Mr. President, again, we plead with you, kindly engage your caucus. It is your nomination. Everything they do today stands for or against your legacy. We are not against the nominees. We are not against the decision by you to nominate justices to the Supreme Court. Although we are against the decision on the basis of your own principle. But we believe if the right thing is done, all of us can work together as Democrats, engage and get the right thing done. This is why in the wisdom of our framers of the Constitution, these provisions were in the Constitution to allow Parliament in its wisdom to deal with all these things. In closing, it is our submission that if this plot goes ahead regardless, we will not treat it as an end of the matter. Every objection we raise this week goes into permanent record of this House, and if it becomes necessary, any Ghanaian, not only members of Parliament, has a right under the relevant provision of the Constitution to assert his rights. We did not choose this fight. It was brought to the doorstep of this Parliament and to the doorstep of the court itself by an unreasonable majority that does not want to reason with us, but to go with their supermajority and act out of political convenience. We are asking all Ghanaians to join us in bringing the majority to order,
we rest our case. Thank you very much.
And make our nation great and strong, the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility, make us cherish fearless honesty, and help us to resist oppressors with all our will and might forevermore. And help us to resist oppressors with all our will and might forevermore. General